Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. I just got done with a nice cardio, so I'm ready for a good stretch. So today we're just going to do a 30-minute stretch. It's a little bit shorter than the 45-minute stretch we've been doing, so we're not going to hold the stretches as long, but you will get a top to bottom limbering up for sure. So I'm going to turn to the side, and we're going to start with our legs at the outer edges of the mat, and we're going to do a deep breath up. Nice and slow, and we're going to hinge at the waist. Exhale on the way down. Let's do a nice flat back. You can have your knees slightly bent. And what I want you to do is focus here on lifting those sits bones up, because we want to get a little bit of a tug on your hamstrings. And then we're going to fold down and just hang for a minute. Just let gravity and your body weight kind of open up that lower spine. Good. Now let's put palms to floor. Palms to shin, flat back. Good. Now round and roll up. I'm going to do this 2 more times. Deep breath in. Hinge at the waist, flat back down, slight bend in the knees. Lifting the sits bones. Relax down. Hang your arms. Let gravity gently stretch and open that lower spine. You can kind of rock back and forth if you want. Good. Palms to floor. Palms to shin. Flat back. Let's look forward. Again, lifting those sits bones. Make this an active stretch for your hamstrings. Round the back and slowly roll up. Last time here. Breathe. Flat back down. Hinge at the waist. Reaching. Collapse down. Just hang and relax. Rotate back and forth if you'd like. Good. Palms to mat. Again, still lifting with those sits bones. Palms to shin. Flat back. Round back and roll up. Good. 1 more breath in. Good. We're going to exhale all the way down. And we're going to walk your hands out. So we're in a high V position or a pike. And I want you to bring your feet a little closer together. We're going to walk out. Just start to limber up the bottoms of our feet, our ankles. If you work on your feet, you might feel this under your arch. It'll feel good. You're going to feel it on your calf too. We're going to kind of go from the bottom up today. Good. Press with the heels. Take your time. Press with the heels. Keep your belly engaged, pulling that belly back to the spine. Good. Now why don't we hold down with the right heel. Now if you're not feeling the stretch, you can lift your hips up. Again, lift those sits bones towards the ceiling. And you'll feel a little bit more of a tug all the way down to your Achilles. Good. Let's switch. You might even notice you feel this more on one side than another. I feel this a little bit more on the left. Good. Keep pressing through that heel. Good. Let's bring both heels down. Pushing into the mat. Your heels are hovering, but continue to press them down so you get that stretch. Good. Now we're going to take our feet out to the outer edges of the mat again. And we're going to walk your hands back up. Very nice. This time I want you to grab your ankles if you can. If you have less flexibility and you want to go to here, that's fine too. Go however deep you can. I'm going to grab my ankles. And I want you to tuck your head down and then reach for the back of your ankles and gently pull in. So we're not forcing this, we're just gently pulling in to continue that stretch along the calves and the back of the hamstrings. And now let's walk our hands, both hands over to the right leg. So you're going to take your left hand and grab the outside of that ankle. We're staying low, we're keeping our torso down. So left hand is around the right ankle. Now take your right arm and we're going to lift it up and reach. And so by rotating here, we're adding a stretch to the torso and the rib area. So we've got our legs stretching and we've got a nice stretch through our torso. So keep that palm open and reaching. Open up that chest. Good, slowly bring that down. We're gonna go to the other side. So our right hand is gonna grab our left ankle. We're gonna gently pull in and then rotate over to the left side. Palm open, looking up to the ceiling. Don't drift up, make sure you're continually gently pulling that torso down. Good, bring that down. We're gonna do that one more time to each side. If you need a little bend in your knee, that's fine. So again, our left arm grabs the outside of the right ankle. We're turning and reaching up. Opening the chest, opening the front of that shoulder, gently pulling in for the hamstrings. Good, bring that down. Walk to the other side. Grab the right hand over the left ankle, reach up. Keep the chest down towards the legs as far as you can. Good, bring that down. The last thing we're going to do is you're going to hold on to both ankles and we're going to round the back up, tuck the head. You're going to feel that stretch all through your lumbar spine. And I want you to concentrate on pulling those shoulder blades out to the side. And to stretch those postural muscles. They get so overworked because most of us are at a desk. Keep that head tucked. Keep lifting with your torso to round that back. Good, release that down. And we're gonna walk the hands out and come down onto tabletop position. Very good. So let's have our shoulders right over the hands, knees right under the hips, and we're gonna round up, stretch that back. Good. Now keeping that arch in the back, I want you to drop your hips back and come to rest on your heels if you can. Good. And then back up, and we're going to relax the abdomen and look up with the chin. Good. Let's round back up. So we're pushing through the palms of our hands, pushing down into the ground with our palms, pulling those shoulder blades back and rounding the spine. And now we're going to set back. Feel that movement move a little bit from your upper back to your lower back. And then gently kind of hover or sit on your heels. And back up. Good, now relax. Can't play right now, buddy. Relax the abdomen and look up. Make sure you're breathing. One more time. Up. Pull those shoulder blades open, round the back, tuck the pelvis a little bit, and let's go back. Lower your hips. Keep those arms reaching, and then hover, just sit right on your heels. Good, back up. Not right now, buddy. Good job. All right, so now what we're gonna do, we're moving the stretch back up to the torso a little bit. Let's place our left hand center, and our right arm's gonna come up. And you're gonna feel this from your lower spine all the way up towards your rib cage, likely. So we're gonna keep our palms facing out. And now we're gonna rotate, thread that needle through. And we're gonna come to rest on the outside of our shoulder. So just relax into this, let gravity, your body weight settle onto the outside of your shoulder, and reach that left arm up. So you're in a reverse L. Fannies are in the air. Good, just breathe through the stretch a few times. Feel that shoulder open up. Good, let's walk that left arm in, press through the palm, and unwind that shoulder. And we're gonna put the right hand down, and we're gonna turn up with the left. I just felt a nice release in my spine when I did that. So turn that torso up, open the shoulder, open the chest, reach with your fingers. Make this arm an active reach. Breathe. And we're gonna feed that right through. And we're gonna come to rest on the left shoulder, outside of the left shoulder. So settle in there and then walk your right arm up, reaching with the fingertips. So we're in L position now. Good, walk that arm right in. Unwind that shoulder. And we're back in tabletop position. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our right leg and extend it out. I want you to point your toe. And you should naturally feel a little bit of a stretch on your quadricep when you do this. But we're gonna take this leg and swing it. So we're taking your right leg, swinging it over behind your left shoulder. And then you're gonna take your head and very gently turn your upper body to look at your foot. And you're gonna feel a nice stretch all the way from the front of the hip, all the way up to the rib cage. So the top of your foot is down on the ground. Your heel is facing up. You're looking at that foot, turning the torso in that direction. Good, now let's release that and come back to tabletop. And we're gonna do the same thing with the other leg. Let's take the left leg, put it right out, point that toe. Now again here, remember you don't wanna drop your abdomen, so keep that belly tucked up. We don't want your back to go down like that. We want the belly engaged, the back nice and straight in almost a plank position. And let's take that left leg, bring it around to the right side. Again, the top of our foot is down. Back come over here, buddy. And I'd like you to turn your torso, so we're actively turning the shoulder towards the foot and looking in that direction. I love this stretch. I feel this from the side of my left hip all the way up to the rib cage under my arm. A few more seconds here. Good. Come back to center, bring that leg back over. And we're gonna take our right leg and we're gonna pull it through right to here. And then I want you to curl your back toe under and lift that back leg up. So we're in a nice deep runner stretch. We're keeping our back leg straight and high. Our front knee is over or behind your ankle. Want to keep that shear stress off your knee. Now, if you can't do this, an alternate is here, or an alternate is here, okay? Couple modifications. Let's stay in this stretch for a sec. Just let that left hip flexor settle in. You should feel that. Not pain, but a stretch. Now let's lower that knee. Good. And we're gonna walk our hands up to this knee. And as you bring your torso back, you're gonna feel a little more intense stretch in the front of that left hip flexor. If you don't, you can lean forward into that. Then you'll definitely feel it. Good. Keep your shoulders back. Good. Now let's put our hands on the ground. We're going to take our front leg. We're going to straighten that leg. Bring the hips back. Let's keep our toe on the ground right now. Lower the torso. Drop the head. You should feel a little bit of a stretch in the front of the shin, in your lower back, and then that front hamstring. Good. Now we're going to take that toe and pull it up towards your face. It's definitely going to intensify your stretch a little bit. Let's bring your head and torso back down. Good. Come right up out of that. And we're going to bring that leg back and switch to the other leg. Bring that forward. Curl that back toe under. And we're coming up into deep runner stretch. Again, knee is over the heel or behind the heel, not in front of the heel. Your weight is on that ball of your back foot, supporting on your fingertips. Feeling the stretch along the hip flexor and the top of the thigh, top of the quadricep. Good. Let's drop that back leg. Flatten the foot. Settle into that hip flexor stretch. And then when you're ready, we're going to come up to here. If you don't feel this enough in the hip flexor, just press the hips forward. Make sure this knee angle is still good. Shoulders are back over the hips. We don't want you to hunch over your knee. Good. Now we're going to take that front leg, straighten it. Hands on the ground, and then torso and head to shin. Again, this should feel good in the back of your leg, right from behind the knee all the way up to the insertion of your hamstring. A little bit on the shin and the top of your foot. Good, let's take that toe, pull it back towards your face. Could be a little bit harder. Pull that toe back actively, and then again, lower the torso and the head to your shin. Good, let's come up from that. Let's just keep our left leg forward. No reason to switch. We're gonna bend that knee and then drop down. You drop down right on the back of your hip. The back leg is facing down, so your top of your foot is against the mat. Again, feeling this in the hip flexor, but now we're adding the glute. So just stay right here for now. Couple deep breaths here. And once you feel settled into this stretch, we're going to go down onto our forearms. I'm going to feel this a little bit more. Keep your chin up, shoulders facing forward. And you should feel this in that bent leg a little bit more, on the side of that hip. And now we're going to go down a little bit further. If you can, reach the arms all the way out, fingertips reaching, and drop the head down. Walk your fingers out as far as they'll go. You'll feel a nice stretch through the side of your shoulders. Good, let's walk in from that. Now we're going to come up a little bit off of that hip, putting our weight a little bit more forward onto the knee. Just support with your left arm and reach for that foot. Pull it as tight or as loosely as you can. We're going to get a nice stretch on that quad. Now, if you need to, if you want to lean back onto the hips, you can do that. You're still going to get a nice stretch in your quad. If you want to be up on the front of the leg and the knee, that's good too. You really can just modify this to your comfort. Good, let's pull that foot a little bit tighter, if you can. No injuries today. Couple more deep breaths here. Good. Now let's settle back, and we're going to slowly release that leg. Don't let it flop down. Good. Let's put our palms down. We're going to lift up our hips and switch that leg for the right leg. Again, bringing that knee through. So the knee is pretty much right under your sternum or your breastbone. Back leg is flat, foot down. And just settle into this position for a sec. Again, feeling this kind of on the outside of the hip. Let's take a deep breath and come down to the forearms. Exhaling down. Keep the shoulders back, chin up. Good, one more deep breath in. And exhale out, extend those arms as far as you can, forehead to the mat. Reach your arms or pull your fingers far enough forward so you feel that gentle tug around the side of your shoulders. And we've got a nice stretch going all the way from our fingertips down to the outside of that hip. Good, let's walk those hands up. We're going to lift the hip a little bit, plant our right hand, and reach back for that left ankle. Pull it in as tightly as you can to get a stretch in the quad. Again, if you need to go back onto your hips more or your butt, that's fine too. Or you can prop up. Keep your shoulders back. So your hip back there is in line with your knee. So if your knee has kind of migrated out to the left, kind of pull it back so it's right behind your hip. And let's settle back and gently release that leg. Very good. Okay, we're going to push through our palms again. Bring that leg back. Just into plank for a second. Let's go back into down dog. Good. Press through those shoulders, reaching with the fingers. Lift those sits bones up. Good. Let's come out of that onto our knees, and then we're going to go right onto our side. Let's stay up on our elbow, and you can bend your bottom leg for support, and then we're going to take that top leg, pull it back. So you're going to bring your heel right to your butt if you can. Good. Now what we're going to do is grab the bottom of the foot and then straighten that leg. Now again, if you're here and you can straighten the leg to there, that's fine too. It's all to your flexibility, but start with the knee towards your ear and then straighten that leg up. We're going to keep that toe pointed for now. Keep your rib cage off the ground right through here. You want to keep space between your ribs and the ground. Now if you feel like you can bring that back a little bit further. And let's grab the toe and pull that back. Changes the stretch a little bit. And if you can, intensify it, pull it closer to you, keeping that knee straight. The sun just went down. Okay, release out of that. Good. Let's switch to the other side. So right up on your elbow, support leg is bent slightly. We're going to grab that ankle. Make sure your knees are pretty much lined up. Top leg is lifted off the bottom. If you feel you're going to get a glute cramp or something, you can lower that hip, but I prefer it here. Bring that heel right to your butt. Good. Now let's bring that knee to the shoulder, grab under bottom of your foot, and let's straighten that up. Again, keep that chest off the ground. Keep air between your rib cage and the floor. If you're not feeling a stretch, we'll end a little bit more. A couple breaths here, and then we're going to push that heel out. Good. Grab the top of your foot, pull that heel, press that heel rather, pull the toe back, press the heel, pull it to the point where you get a good stretch. Couple more breaths here. I keep inadvertently releasing my leg. Pull it back, keep it taut. That's how we get the stretch. Okay, release that. We're gonna come up. Let's have one leg in front of the other. Good. So let's rest our right arm down. We're gonna lean over to that side, kind of walking the hand out. Bring this arm up. Good. Again, we're keeping our shoulders in line with our hip. I don't want you to bend at the waist. I want you to keep this whole torso in one plane. Okay, like there's a piece of glass here, piece of glass behind you. Stay in that plane and just laterally bend. Good, put that hand behind your head. Now we're gonna press that elbow back. Look up to the ceiling and open up that pec muscle. And bring that down to the knee and stretch your back. And back up. Again, you're leaning on that hand, pressing the elbow back and lifting the head up. Good, back down, elbow to knee. Feel that rotation and that stretch in the lower spine. Good, let's come out of that. And put that arm down, go into the other side, walk it out a little bit. So you can feel that lean. And the arm comes up and over. Again, keeping the shoulders right over your hips. Let's put the hand behind the head. Press the elbow back. I don't know if you can see me doing that, but we went from here to pulling that elbow back, and it's going to open and stretch that pec muscle. And elbow to knee. Rotate and feel that nice stretch in your lumbar spine, the top of your hip. And back up. Open the chest. Look up to the ceiling. Try to counteract all that keyboard work. And back down to elbow to knee. Good. Let's come back out of that. Let's take our left arm, bring it over to the right side of your head. Very gently press the head down to the left, and let's tap the fingers off to the right. When you do that, you're going to feel that stretch change just a little bit. And now we're going to turn our chin down, change our hand position to the back of the head, gently press down. This is going to change the angle of that stretch. Good, come up out of that. We'll switch sides. So our right arm to the left side of the head, gently pull down, walk those fingers out. And again, stay up on those sits bones. Keep your good posture, shoulders over hips. Don't round when we're doing this. Keep those shoulders back, up on your sits bones, and gently pull. Good, let's put our chins down. Change that hand position to the back of the head and gently press. I can feel this all the way down to my lower scapula. Keep that arm out to the side. Good, release. And our last stretch of the morning, we're going to take our hands behind the head, drop chin to chest, stay up on those sits bones, gently press. You're going to feel that right down the center of your spine and up the center of the top of your head. Let gravity do part of this, and then gently with your arms press for a little more stretch. Good, gently come out of that. Release your shoulders. And let's do one last breath. Up and all the way out. Thanks for joining me, you guys. I hope you feel limber, tip to toe.